sports rehabilitation have in your own playing career?
It's a massive role that's been built up over time. When I was a teenager, we didn't necessarily get exposed to strength conditioning until quite late on. So probably when I went to college, 16, 17 was the first time I'd experienced that outside of rugby. So now it's in my weekly routine. I'm in the gym 3-4 times a week doing various bits on a strength conditioning element. And then when you get injured, or it might not be a complete injury, it might be a niggle that's not going away, then that's when you go and check over with the physio. You might not necessarily be totally stopped from playing the sport, but you're just trying to prevent stuff from happening in the future. So just getting little exercises from them from a rehab perspective to prevent injuries occurring.
Yeah, and just going back to when you didn't do strength and conditioning, and it's after, how does it feel from where you were before to where you are now?
I think I felt a little bit left behind, especially I remember going to England under 20s trials and getting in there for the first time, for example. I was 16, 17, playing with potentially 18, 19-year-olds who have got 2 or 3 years training experience in a gym on top of me. So as much as I was aware I was a young one, it was just, there's always thoughts in my head saying, could I have done this a bit sooner, or how could I have prevented a bigger gap? So yes, I've caught up now, but it affected me short term and psychologically on the pitch to then go up against the bigger and the stronger girls. So yeah, I had to play catch up for a little bit.
And what would your advice be to someone who's in a similar position to you were, or aspiring to be a professional sports person?
I think a lot about it is just getting out there and knowing what's available to you. So whether it's a strength and conditioning session in the gym, whether it's a rehab session, it might be a rugby camp. Going back to the Lions camps that we've been doing all summer, that was never an option for me when I was growing up. So it's just getting exposure to the game and exposure outside. So whatever you can get your hands on, if you don't know it, go and research it. And if you're not confident doing stuff on your own, go somewhere where you can do it. And the more experience you get, the more repetitive you get at doing it. It's all about your muscle memory, your proprioception. The better you are off the pitch doing that when you are faced with a contact situation, or if I wasn't always the biggest or the strongest, so I'm never going to run into people I'd like to run around. So it's just learning, what are your strengths and how can you play to that off the pitch and on.
Excellent. And finally, you've been coaching on the foundation strength courses now for Lions. What are the top things, or the 3 main things that you've seen kids that have come on the courses develop?
The top one's probably got to be confidence. We've got kids of all ages. We've had, 10 to 12, 13-year-olds, and then we've got the other end of the spectrum where we've got 16, 17-year-olds on the same course. They don't always necessarily do the same thing, but their confidence from week 1 of doing potentially one exercise and then revisiting that on week 5 or 6 of the course, their confidence to go and pick a barbell up, or go and pick up a kettlebell, or do a core exercise, and their technique just grows. And you can see that as soon as they come into the gym, their face is lit up, they're full of enthusiasm, and they're ready to go. Whereas I remember session 1, they kind of all slowly walked in the door, they weren't really sure what to expect. So it's definitely brought them out their shell and probably allowed them to realise their potential a lot more. Some of them come in, we set their own goals on week 1, we don't set them goals, we ask them what they want to do, and we set them a 6-week goal and say, is it upper body, is it a specific movement, whatever that might be. And again, coming back to that over the weeks, but then retesting that on week 6 and realising what they can do in that time for just an hour a week is massive to them. And it's been really good. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch them grow throughout the course.